Okay, picture this. You're taking a nice, long walk on the beach. Sun's out, you can hear the waves, and then you see it. Something shimmering on the sand. It's this incredible, brilliant blue and purple thing, almost glowing, kind of like a little balloon someone dropped. So of course you want to go check it out, right? Maybe even pick it up.
So yeah, what's your move? I mean, look at it. It looks like a little jewel just washed up from the sea. Seems totally harmless, doesn't it? Just a beautiful, innocent little treasure to find on your walk.
But whatever you do, just stop. Seriously, don't touch it. Because that beautiful little balloon is one of the most deceptive things in the entire ocean. And its sting? It's just as nasty on the sand as it is in the water, even if the creature has been dead for weeks. So, what exactly is this thing? Well, that strange and beautiful object is called a Portuguese man o' war. Some people also call it by its other, much more fitting name, the floating terror. And trust me, it has earned that name. The first thing you've got to know is that this thing is full of surprises.
Now, right off the bat, let's clear up the biggest misconception. Everybody looks at it and thinks, oh, a jellyfish. Nope. Despite the jelly-like look and that wicked sting, it is not a jellyfish at all. It's in a totally different class of animal. But the mystery doesn't stop there.
And here's where it gets really weird. What you're looking at, what seems like a single individual creature, it's not. Not even close. You aren't looking at an it. You're actually looking at a they. It's a whole floating city of tiny organisms.
The man o' war is what's known as a siphonophore. So think of it less like one animal and more like a cooperative. It's a colony made up of thousands of individual organisms called zooids. They're all genetically identical, basically clones, but each one is a specialist with a very specific job. And they're all physically attached to each other, working as one giant superorganism to survive.
So if it's a colony, who's doing what? Well, it's basically the most efficient little team you can imagine. Every single member has one highly specialized role. It's like an entire crew working on a single, very bizarre-looking ship.
So this team has 4 main departments. The part you actually see, that colorful balloon, that's the pneumatophore. It's the sail, keeping the whole operation afloat. Tucked underneath are the dactylozoids. Those are the tentacles, the hunters. Then, once they catch something, the gastrozoids kick in. They act as the communal stomach, digesting food for the entire colony. And last but not least, you have the gonozoids, which are in charge of reproduction, making new members for this weird little family. And this quote just nails it. This is the crucial part. The tentacles that do the hunting, they can't eat. The stomach that does the digesting, it can't reproduce. And the float, well, it can't do any of that. They are completely 100% dependent on each other. Not a single one of these parts could survive for a second on its own.
Okay, so we've established it's a fascinating, bizarre colony, but let's get back to why it's called the floating terror. And that comes down to its incredible and incredibly painful weapon system.
While that float is catching your eye with all its pretty blues and purples, the real danger is trailing below the surface. They're these long, thin tentacles that are almost impossible to see on the water. This is the business end of the man o' war.
And just how long can these tentacles get? They can stretch up to 100 feet. To put that in perspective, that is longer than a blue whale.
And getting stung by one is not some super rare event. On the east coast of Australia alone, there are as many as 30,000 reported stings every single year.
So what happens if you get stung? People describe it as a sharp, whip-like feeling. That intense pain can last anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. It's easily one of the most painful stings you can get in the ocean.
Now this is the most important takeaway. The danger doesn't stop just because the man o' war has washed up on the beach. Those little stinging cells called nematocysts can stay fully loaded and active for days, even weeks, especially if they stay damp. This is exactly why you never, ever touch one you find on the sand.
But just having a powerful sting isn't enough to survive out in the open ocean. The man o' war has some other truly genius adaptations that make it a master of just drifting along on the high seas. Okay, this is one of the cleverest evolutionary tricks I've ever heard of. That sail, the float, isn't symmetrical. Some of them are left-handed and some are right-handed. This means some of them drift 45 degrees to the right of the wind and the others drift 45 degrees to the left. Why? It's a brilliant survival strategy. This ensures that no matter which way the wind is blowing, it can't push the entire population onto a single beach to get stranded. At worst, only half the population is ever at risk. How smart is that? So you might be thinking, what could possibly be brave enough to eat a floating terror? Well, not much, but its predators are pretty incredible. The loggerhead sea turtle's skin is just too thick for the stings to penetrate. Even cooler is the blue sea slug. It not only eats the man of war, it actually steals the stinging cells and uses them for its own defense. And then there's the tiny violet sea snail, which builds its own little bubble raft so it can float up and munch on them.
So the Portuguese Man of War really makes you question what it even means to be an individual. It's not quite a single organism, but it's not quite a community either. It's something in between. And that leaves us with one last thought. What other creatures out there that look like a single animal are actually hiding a secret, complex, colonial life right under our noses?